My child, stop for a moment. Do not rush past this. Do not convince yourself that these are just more words appearing in front of you at the end of a long day. Something has been trying to reach you, and if you are hearing this right now, it means your heart finally paused long enough to listen. You have felt it, haven't you? That feeling you could never fully explain. The restlessness that follows you even when everything around you seems normal. The quiet ache that appears when the distractions fade. The sense that something deeper has been calling your name while you continued carrying on with your routines, responsibilities, worries, and unanswered questions. You tried to ignore it. You tried to explain it away. You told yourself it was stress, exhaustion, emotion, or imagination. Yet it never completely disappeared. That is because this has been trying to reach you for much longer than you realize. I have seen the moments nobody else knows about. I have watched you carry burdens you rarely speak about. I have seen you sit alone with thoughts that became too heavy to share. I know about the silent prayers you stopped expecting answers to. I know about the disappointment you buried beneath forced strength. I know about the questions you keep asking inside your heart when nobody else is listening. And now here you are. Not somewhere else. Not scrolling past. Not distracted by something that seemed more important. Right here. You may think you found this message. You may believe this is just another video among thousands of others. But your spirit knows there is something different about this moment. There is a reason your attention stopped here. There is a reason your heart feels drawn to keep listening. There is a reason these words feel personal. Do not leave yet. Stay with me, because what comes next is not meant for everyone. It is meant for the one who had been searching without realizing it. It is meant for the one who feels tired of carrying everything alone. It is meant for the one who has been asking for clarity, comfort, direction, or simply a sign that they are not forgotten. If you walk away now, you may miss the very thing your heart has been longing to hear. But if you stay, if you listen carefully and allow your spirit to remain open, you may finally understand why this message kept finding its way to you. Because this is not merely a message. This is the answer that has been trying to reach you. My child, this message has been trying to reach you for far longer than you realize. You may think you clicked on this by chance, but something inside your spirit already knew you needed to hear these words today. Slow down, breathe, and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear reaches deeper than surface emotions and temporary encouragement. I am speaking directly to the places inside you that have grown tired, guarded, and overwhelmed from carrying too much for too long. Stay with me until the very end, because there are things your heart needs to hear before you move into another day pretending you are unaffected by everything you have survived. Do not scroll past this voice now. The moment you almost ignored may become the moment that changes everything inside you. My child, I know how close you came to ignoring this moment. Your mind hath been so crowded lately that you barely give yourself time to stop and breathe anymore. You wake up already carrying yesterday's worries, and before the day even begins, your heart feels tired. You keep moving because you think you have to. You answer responsibilities, solve problems, and try to stay strong for everyone around you. But underneath all of that, there has been a quiet heaviness growing inside you that you cannot fully explain. Even during moments when everything around you seems normal, there is still something unsettled within your spirit. I have watched you try to push through it without slowing down long enough to understand what your heart has been asking for. You told yourself you were only stressed or overwhelmed. You convinced yourself that rest could wait and healing could happen later. But your soul has been trying to reach you for a long time now. There have been nights when you felt emotionally exhausted even after doing nothing physically difficult. There were moments when you sat in silence and suddenly felt empty without knowing why. You tried to distract yourself from it because facing your deeper emotions felt uncomfortable. Still, that feeling never completely disappeared. What you are experiencing is not weakness, my child. It is the part of you that still longs for peace, truth, and closeness with me. The world has taught you how to survive, but survival is not the same as living with peace inside your heart. You became so focused on getting through each day that you stopped noticing how much emotional weight you were carrying. I never stopped noticing it. You may think this is just another ordinary moment in your day, but I need you to understand something important. Your heart did not pause here by accident. I've been reaching toward you through quiet moments for longer than you realize. Through thoughts you could not shake. Through sudden moments of reflection. Through the feeling that your life needed something deeper than constant pressure and distraction. Even when you ignored those feelings, I remained patient with you. I know there were times when you felt distant from me. Times when your faith became quiet and your mind became louder than your spirit. But I never walked away from you. Not once. I stayed near you through every restless night, every hidden fear, and every moment when you secretly wondered whether anyone truly understood what was happening inside your heart. Right now, I simply want you to stop running long enough to hear my voice again. You do not need to have everything figured out today. You do not need perfect answers or perfect faith. I only want your attention for this moment because your soul has been trying to reach this place for longer than you know. My child, you have spent so much time trying to hold everything together that you no longer remember what it feels like to truly rest inside your own heart. You carry responsibilities that drain your energy before the day is halfway over, and you rarely speak about how heavy life has started to feel for you. People see your routines, your conversations, your ability to keep functioning, but they do not see the pressure building quietly inside your mind. They do not hear the thoughts that keep you awake at night or feel the exhaustion you hide behind your smile. I see all of it clearly. I have watched you carry burdens you were never meant to carry alone. There were moments when you tried to explain your pain to others, but the words never came out the way you wanted. So instead, you stayed quiet. You told yourself to keep moving. You convinced yourself that eventually things would become easier if you just pushed a little harder. But your soul had been asking for care, not constant pressure. I want you to stop for a moment and listen to me carefully. You do not need to prove your worth by exhausting yourself. You do not need to carry every emotional wound in silence, as though your strength depends on pretending nothing hurts you. Come closer to me now. Bring me the thoughts you keep hidden from everyone else. Bring me the fears you bury beneath your daily responsibilities. I already know them, my child, but I want you to stop hiding from your own heart. You have spent too long trying to survive without allowing yourself to be comforted. Let your guard down for a moment. Breathe slowly. Allow yourself to admit that you are tired. There is no shame in that. I know how many times you questioned whether anyone truly understood what you were feeling. Some days you felt emotionally stranded even while surrounded by people. You longed for peace, but kept settling for distraction because distraction felt easier than facing the emptiness directly. Yet distraction cannot heal you. It only delays the moment your heart finally asks for truth. Listen to my voice now and stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop speaking harshly to yourself every time you feel overwhelmed. You are not failing because you feel tired. You are not weak because your heart has been carrying too much for too long. Sit with me in this moment and allow my presence to reach the places inside you that have felt neglected and unseen. I am not asking you to fix yourself overnight. I am asking you to stop running from the care your soul desperately needs. Let me carry what has been crushing your spirit. You were never meant to walk through this life believing you had to survive every storm by yourself. My child, there have been quiet moments when you truly believed your prayers were disappearing into silence. You spoke to me through tired thoughts, through whispered words before sleep, through emotions you could barely explain, and after a while you started wondering if I still heard you at all. I know how disappointment slowly settled into your heart. I know how difficult it became to keep hoping when so many things around you felt delayed, uncertain, or painfully unresolved. Still, I never stopped listening to you. You looked at parts of your life and quietly asked yourself whether I had forgotten your name. You watched opportunities pass by. You what relatives hid. You carried private disappointments that chipped away at your confidence little by little. Some days you smiled in front of others while privately questioning whether your future would ever feel lighter than your past. But I need you to hear me clearly now. I have never lost sight of you. Not during your confusion. Not during your distance. Not during the seasons where your faith became fragile and your heart became tired. Come closer and stop believing the lie that your life no longer matters deeply to me. You are not invisible. You are not abandoned somewhere behind everyone else's blessings. I have been working quietly in places you cannot yet see. Even delays that frustrated you carried purpose you did not fully understand at the time. There were closed doors that protected you from pain you would not have survived emotionally. There were moments where I slowed your path because your heart needed healing before certain things could safely enter your life. I want you to release the belief that silence means absence. Sometimes I was protecting you while you thought I was ignoring you. Sometimes I was strengthening parts of you that could only grow through waiting. Trust me enough to stop measuring my love by how quickly circumstances change around you. Lift your eyes for a moment and remember how many times you survived situations you thought would completely break you. You are still here, my child. Your heart still beats with purpose. Your story is not ending in exhaustion, disappointment, or emotional emptiness. Let hope return slowly instead of resisting it out of fear. Open your heart again. Speak to me honestly again. Expect healing again. I have not forgotten a single tear, a single prayer, or a single moment where you quietly reached for me in the dark. My child, stop trying to silence the restlessness inside you as though it is something to fear. You have spent so much time distracting yourself from what your heart has been trying to tell you that you no longer recognize the difference between temporary comfort and true peace. You fill your days with responsibilities, conversations, endless thinking, and constant movement because slowing down forces you to face emotions you have avoided for too long. Yet even after busy days and exhausted nights, that unsettled feeling keeps returning. It follows you into quiet moments. It sits with you when the distractions fade. You cannot outrun it because your soul is trying to wake you up. I want you to stop for a moment and listen carefully. That ache inside you is not proof that you are broken beyond repair. It is proof that your heart was created for more than survival. You have been living under pressure for so long that emotional exhaustion started feeling normal to you. You learned how to function while carrying sadness, confusion, disappointment, and fear all at once. But I never intended for your spirit to live buried beneath constant heaviness. Come closer to me now and stop pretending your heart is unaffected by everything you have endured. You have searched for relief in places that could only distract you temporarily. You hoped achievement would calm your mind. You hoped approval from others would finally make you feel secure. Sometimes you even convinced yourself that if you stayed busy enough, your deeper pain would eventually disappear. But distractions only delay healing. They cannot restore the parts of you that feel emotionally worn down. Sit with me honestly for a moment. Let yourself admit how tired your inner world has become. Stop speaking over your own pain with forced positivity. Stop telling yourself you should already be stronger by now. Healing does not begin when you pretend everything is fine. Healing begins when you finally allow truth to breathe inside your heart. I know there are moments when your thoughts feel loud and your spirit feels distant. You wonder why peace seems easier for everyone else to find. But do not compare your hidden battles with someone else's appearance. You are walking through a season where your soul is asking deeper questions, and that discomfort has purpose. I am drawing your attention toward the places inside you that need care, honesty, and restoration. Open your heart to me instead of pushing your emotions further down. Let me reach the parts of you that feel numb from carrying too much for too long. You do not need to fix everything tonight. You do not need to force clarity before healing begins. Just stop resisting the invitation I have been placing in front of you. Your restlessness is not random, my child. It has been trying to lead you back to me. My child, the restlessness you feel is not only calling you back to me, it is also awakening you to the assignment I have placed before this message. There are weary souls wandering in darkness tonight, silently crying out for comfort, and I am using this very word as oil for their wounds and fire for their fading faith. When you choose to give through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through PayPal in the description, you are helping my voice travel farther than you can see. I tell you now, cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again, and your obedience will not return empty. Every seed placed into this mission becomes light in someone's midnight hour, manna for the discouraged, and living water for hearts close to giving up. Do not call your generosity small when I am the one breathing multiplication over it. I am inviting you personally to help carry this message to those who are still trying to outrun the ache inside their souls. Act now, my child. Sow your seed through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and become part of the healing I am releasing across the earth. My child, you kept waiting for me to speak through something dramatic while overlooking the quiet ways I have already been reaching toward you. You expected certainty to arrive like thunder, clear and impossible to ignore, yet so many times I came to you gently instead. I spoke through moments that seemed ordinary at first, through conversations that stayed in your mind longer than expected, through sudden feelings that interrupted your routines and made you stop for a second without fully understanding why. There were nights when your thoughts became unusually still and something inside you whispered that your life could not continue the way it had been going. That was me. There were moments when you looked around at everything you worked so hard to build and still felt emotionally empty afterward. That was me reaching beyond your distractions. I have spoken through delays, through unexpected pauses, and even through disappointments that forced you to slow down when you would have kept running yourself into exhaustion. Come closer and think honestly about the moments you almost ignored. Think about the times your heart suddenly softened while hearing words you were not expecting. Think about the moments you felt convicted deep inside even though nobody around you knew what was happening within your spirit. I was there every time, patiently trying to guide your attention back toward what truly matters. You kept telling yourself those moments were coincidence because listening more deeply felt uncomfortable. If you slowed down long enough to hear me clearly, you knew certain parts of your life would need to change. You knew some wounds you buried would finally need healing. You knew some distractions you depended on would no longer satisfy your spirit the way they once did. So you kept moving quickly, hoping the deeper questions inside you would eventually quiet down on their own. But listen to me now. Your soul was never designed to live disconnected from truth. You cannot numb your heart forever without feeling the emptiness grow heavier over time. I do not say this to condemn you. I say it because I love you too much to let you remain emotionally distant while your spirit quietly struggles underneath the surface. Slow down tonight. Stop filling every silent moment with noise. Sit with me honestly and allow your heart to breathe again. You do not need polished prayers or perfect words. Speak openly to me about what you truly feel. Let your walls come down. Let your spirit become still enough to recognize that I have been near you all along, speaking softly through moments you almost overlooked. My child, you have carried so much by yourself for so long that asking for help now feels unnatural to you. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that strength meant handling everything quietly without letting anyone see how deeply you were struggling. You became careful with your emotions. You stopped speaking openly about the things weighing on your heart because disappointment taught you that not everyone knows how to hold another person's pain gently. So instead, you learned how to survive in silence. I watched you push yourself beyond your limits while pretending you were fine. I saw you continue showing up for others even when your own spirit felt empty. You kept saying, "I'll deal with it later," while your heart quietly grew more exhausted underneath the surface. There were nights when your body rested, but your mind never truly slowed down. You carried conversations in your head long after they ended. You replayed mistakes. You worried about the future. You held tension inside yourself so constantly that peace started feeling unfamiliar to you. Come closer now and stop treating your pain like an inconvenience. Stop apologizing for the fact that you feel overwhelmed sometimes. You are human, my child, not a machine built to carry endless emotional pressure without rest. I never asked you to survive life without comfort, honesty, or support. Yet you kept trying to become your own protector because trusting others felt risky after everything you experienced. I know the moments that shaped this fear inside you. I remember the times you opened your heart and felt misunderstood afterward. I saw the disappointment that taught you to keep certain emotions hidden. But do not let past wounds convince you that isolation is safety. Isolation may protect you from vulnerability for a while, but it also quietly steals warmth from your spirit. It leaves you carrying burdens that slowly become heavier than you were meant to hold alone. Sit with me honestly tonight. Put down the pressure to appear strong every second. Breathe deeply and allow yourself to admit what hurts. Speak openly to me about the fears you avoid discussing with anyone else. Tell me where you feel tired. Tell me where you feel disappointed. Tell me where your hope has grown weak. I am not asking you to perform strength for me. I already see the real condition of your heart, and I have not turned away from you. You do not need to survive entirely on your own anymore. Let me teach your spirit how to rest again. Let me carry the emotional weight you keep trying to hold with exhausted hands. Stop fighting every battle alone, my child. Open the locked places inside your heart and let my presence enter gently. Healing begins when you stop pretending you do not need care. My child, there were seasons of your life when you truly believed you had been abandoned. The pain lasted longer than you expected. The silence stretched further than your understanding. You prayed for relief, for answers, for some kind of sign that things would eventually become lighter. But many days passed without the change you hoped for. I know how lonely that felt for you. I know how difficult it became to keep trusting when your circumstances kept pressing against your spirit like heavy rain against fragile glass. You questioned my presence during moments that exhausted you emotionally. You wondered where I was while you sat awake at night carrying thoughts you could not escape. There were times when tears came quietly because you no longer had energy left for dramatic breakdowns. Your heart simply grew tired. Yet even then, I never stepped away from you. Not for a single moment. Look back carefully at the seasons you thought would completely destroy you. You are still here. Your heart may carry scars, but it still beats with purpose. Your mind may feel weary, but you survived things that once made you believe you would never recover emotionally. You thought you were holding yourself together alone, but I was strengthening you in ways you could not see at the time. Every morning you managed to rise again, every breath you took during those dark moments, every ounce of endurance you found when your spirit felt weak. I was there within it all. Come closer now, and stop believing the lie that my silence meant absence. Some of your deepest growth happened in seasons where answers came slowly. I was protecting parts of your future while you struggled to understand the delays. I was comforting you quietly even when your emotions could not fully feel my nearness. Your pain never made me uncomfortable. Your questions never pushed me away. I want you to release the bitterness that formed during those difficult days. Stop carrying resentment toward yourself for struggling emotionally. You expected yourself to heal quickly, but wounds of the heart often take longer than people realize. Sit with me honestly instead of hiding your disappointment behind forced strength. Let your guarded heart soften again. You do not need to fear difficult seasons the way you once did. You already survived storms you thought would bury you completely, and you did not survive because you were endlessly strong. You survived because I remained beside you while your spirit fought to keep going. Trust me with the parts of your story that still hurt to remember. Let me walk with you through healing instead of forcing yourself to recover alone. My child, fear has been sitting quietly in places inside you for longer than you admit to yourself. It does not always appear loudly. Sometimes it hides behind hesitation. Sometimes it disguises itself as caution, overthinking, or emotional distance. You tell yourself you are simply protecting your heart, but deep inside, fear has been shaping more of your life than you realize. It has made you question your worth before opportunities even arrive. It has convinced you to expect disappointment before joy has the chance to enter your life. I have watched you prepare for heartbreak even during moments that carried hope. There were times when fear whispered that you would fail again, so you stopped trying. There were moments when fear told you people would eventually leave, so you kept parts of yourself emotionally guarded. You became careful with trust because pain taught you how quickly security can disappear. I understand why your heart became cautious, but I do not want fear to become the voice guiding your future. Come closer and listen carefully to me now. You were not created to live every day waiting for something terrible to happen. I know what fear has stolen from you already. It stole peace from your quiet moments. It stole confidence from your decisions. It turned simple situations into heavy emotional battles inside your mind. Some nights you exhausted yourself fighting imaginary outcomes that never even happened. Your thoughts ran in circles while your spirit quietly begged for rest. Yet instead of slowing down, you kept carrying those worries as though they could somehow protect you from pain. Stop for a moment and breathe deeply. Let your shoulders relax. You do not need to keep gripping every situation so tightly. Release the pressure to control every outcome before life even unfolds. Fear promises protection, but most of the time it only traps your heart inside exhaustion. I want you to start recognizing the difference between wisdom and fear-driven living. Wisdom brings peace even during uncertainty. Fear keeps your spirit restless no matter how much control you try to gain. Bring your anxious thoughts to me honestly. Do not hide them behind forced strength or endless distractions. Speak openly to me about the things that frighten you. Tell me where your trust became weak. Tell me where disappointment shaped your thinking. I already know, my child, but healing begins when you stop pretending fear has no influence over your heart. You do not need to predict disaster before every new chapter begins. Your future is not built entirely from your past pain. Let me teach your spirit how to rest again instead of constantly preparing for loss. Open your hands. Loosen your grip on fear little by little. You are safer with me than you realize, and your life was never meant to be lived inside emotional chains that keep your soul from breathing freely. My child, fear has stolen enough already, So do not let it keep you from answering the call I am placing before you now. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind, and today I am asking you to move in faith instead of hesitation. There are people trapped in silent anxiety, shamed by hopeless thoughts, waiting for one message from me to break the darkness surrounding them. Your support through super thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description becomes a torch in the hands of heaven, carrying my truth into hearts suffocating under fear. What you release in faith, I will cause to return like rivers overflowing in dry land. This is not merely a donation, my child. It is a prophetic seed planted into souls desperate for peace and restoration. I see every sacrifice made with sincerity, and I will cover your house with favor, provision, and protection as you help spread my word. Do not delay what heaven is prompting you to do. Give now through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and let fear lose another battle tonight. My child, you have carried guilt for so long that you no longer notice how heavily it sits upon your spirit. You revisit old mistakes in your mind as though replaying them often enough might somehow change what already happened. You remember conversations you wish had gone differently. You remember choices that hurt you and others. There are moments from your past that still make your chest tighten when they return to your thoughts. I know how deeply some of those memories affect you, even now. You became your own harshest judge. Long after other people moved on, you kept condemning yourself quietly. You smiled outwardly while privately believing your failures disqualified you from peace, joy, or closeness with me. But listen carefully to what I am telling you now. Shame has kept you trapped in emotional exhaustion far longer than necessary. You keep trying to heal while holding on to the very chains that wound your spirit every day. Come closer and stop speaking to yourself with so much cruelty. You would comfort someone else carrying the same pain, yet you deny that same compassion to your own heart. I do not want you to spend your life imprisoned by moments that cannot be rewritten. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, there are things you wish had unfolded differently. But your worst moments were never greater than my mercy toward you. I need you to release the belief that punishment will somehow make you worthy again. Constant self-condemnation does not heal the heart. It only deepens the wounds already inside you. Sit honestly with me now, and let your defenses fall. Stop trying to hide the parts of your story that still embarrass you. I already know every detail, and still I have not walked away from you. There are reasons you struggle to forgive yourself. Some wounds left deep regret behind. Some choices created consequences that still affect your emotions today. I understand that healing those places takes time. But do not mistake guilt for growth. Carrying shame forever does not prove you learned your lesson. Sometimes it only proves you have forgotten how deeply you are loved. Lift your eyes away from the ruins of your past for a moment. Look at how much you have survived since then. Look at the wisdom your pain created inside you. You are not the same person you once were. Growth has already been happening quietly within your life, even during seasons where you felt stuck emotionally. Let me carry the weight you keep dragging behind you. Stop reopening old wounds every time your mind grows quiet. Release the need to punish yourself endlessly for being human. Healing cannot fully enter a heart that refuses forgiveness for itself. My child, I know there are still moments when you look back at certain losses and quietly wonder why things had to fall apart the way they did. You remember opportunities you prayed for, relationships you hoped would last, and plans you believed would finally bring peace into your life. When those doors closed, it felt personal to you. You questioned yourself. You questioned your worth. Sometimes you even questioned me. You could not understand why something that seemed so right could disappear so suddenly. I watched the disappointment settle into your heart little by little. I saw how rejection changed the way you looked at yourself. After enough closed doors, you started expecting loss before joy even had the chance to grow. You became cautious with hope because disappointment felt safer than being let down again. But listen carefully to me now. Not every closed door was punishment. Some doors closed because I could see what you could not. There were people you wanted to keep in your life who would have slowly damaged your spirit if they had stayed. There were paths you desperately wanted to walk that would have exhausted you emotionally and left your heart even more wounded. At the time, you only saw the loss. You could not yet see the protection hidden inside the disappointment. Come closer and trust me with the things you still do not fully understand. I know how painful it feels when something you cared about slips away from your hands. You replay conversations. You wonder whether you could have done something differently. You search your memories for answers that might finally make the pain easier to carry. But some endings were never meant to be repaired. Some things had to break apart because they were leading you further away from peace, not closer to it. Stop reopening every closed chapter trying to force meaning out of what already ended. Stop standing in front of locked doors begging them to become home again. I need you to release what I already removed from your path. Trust me enough to believe that I do not take things away simply to leave your life empty. Sometimes I close one door because I can already see the storm behind it. Sit with me honestly and let your grief breathe instead of burying it beneath bitterness. You are allowed to mourn what hurt you. You are allowed to admit that some endings still ache. But do not let pain convince you that your future disappeared with those losses. Your story did not end there, my child. I am still guiding your steps even when the road ahead feels unfamiliar. Open your hands slowly. Let go of what no longer belongs in your life, and make room for the peace you have been searching for. My child, there have been moments when loneliness wrapped around your heart so quietly that nobody around you even noticed it happening. You learned how to keep conversations going while hiding how disconnected you truly felt inside. You sat beside people and still carried an emptiness that words could not fully explain. Sometimes you laughed while your heart remained heavy underneath the surface. Sometimes you answered messages, fulfilled responsibilities, and moved through ordinary routines while privately feeling unseen. I know how deeply loneliness has affected your spirit. Not just the loneliness of being physically alone, but the loneliness of feeling emotionally distant even in crowded rooms. You wanted someone to understand the parts of you that became difficult to explain. You wanted someone to notice when your smile looked tired. Yet after enough disappointments, you stopped expecting people to truly see you anymore. You became careful with vulnerability because opening your heart started to feel risky. Come closer to me now and stop carrying this ache in silence. I have seen every hidden tear you wiped away quickly before anyone could ask questions. I have heard the thoughts you never spoke aloud because you feared sounding weak or difficult. You do not need to pretend with me. Let your guarded heart breathe honestly for once. There were nights when loneliness became so loud that distractions could no longer cover it. You scrolled through noise, filled your mind with endless thoughts, and tried to keep yourself occupied because stillness forced you to feel everything more deeply. Yet even in those quiet hours where you felt forgotten, I remained near you. You may not have sensed my presence clearly, but I never stepped away from your pain. Stop believing the lie that you are difficult to love because certain people failed to understand your heart. Their inability to stay close does not define your worth. Some people only knew the version of you that kept emotions hidden behind strength. They never saw how much tenderness, fear, longing, and exhaustion lived underneath your silence. Sit with me tonight and allow yourself to be fully known. Stop shrinking your emotions to make others comfortable. Stop convincing yourself that your loneliness means you are invisible. You are deeply seen, my child. I know the version of you that nobody else fully understands, and I have never turned away from it. Open your heart again little by little. Let hope return slowly instead of pushing it away before it can reach you. Loneliness may have visited your life, but it was never meant to become your permanent home. I am still here beside you, even in the moments where your heart feels most alone. My child, your exhaustion goes deeper than physical tiredness. Sleep has not fully restored you because the weariness inside you has been building in your heart for a long time now. You kept pushing yourself forward while ignoring how emotionally drained you had become. You told yourself to stay productive, stay focused, stay strong, but underneath all of that effort, your spirit has been quietly asking for rest. I have seen the moments when you sat alone feeling completely depleted without even knowing how to explain why. There are burdens you carry that nobody else fully sees. You carry expectations. You carry pressure. You carry unresolved emotions that follow you into quiet moments whether you want them there or not. Even when your body slows down, your mind keeps running. Thoughts keep circling. Worries keep pulling at your attention. You replay conversations, anticipate problems, and brace yourself for things that have not even happened yet. Your heart has been living in survival mode for so long that peace now feels unfamiliar to you. Come closer and stop pretending you are not tired. Stop forcing yourself to function as though nothing inside you needs care. I never asked you to become emotionally numb just to survive difficult seasons. Sit with me honestly for a moment and let your guard fall. Breathe slowly. Release the pressure you place upon yourself every single day. You do not need to carry every responsibility with clenched hands and an anxious mind. I know there were seasons where you felt like you had no choice except to keep going. Life demanded strength from you before you even had time to heal from previous wounds. You adapted by becoming emotionally guarded and constantly alert, but living that way has quietly exhausted your spirit. You became so used to carrying heavy things that you forgot what lightness feels like inside your own heart. Listen carefully now. Rest is not weakness. Slowing down does not mean failure. Your value is not measured by how much pain you can silently endure before breaking. I want you to stop punishing yourself for needing peace. Let yourself sit still without guilt for a while. Turn away from the noise that constantly drains your attention and allow your spirit room to breathe again. Bring your exhaustion to me honestly instead of hiding it behind distractions. Tell me where your heart feels worn thin. Tell me where hope became difficult to hold on to. I am not disappointed in your tiredness, my child. I am inviting you to stop carrying everything alone. Let my presence reach the parts of you that feel emotionally starved for comfort. You do not need to survive every day this way forever. My child, I know your heart has grown tired, yet even in your weariness, I can still use your obedience to strengthen others who are close to collapsing beneath their burdens. There are exhausted souls searching for one reminder that I still see them, and this message is becoming a resting place for the broken and discouraged. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, you help pour fresh oil into lamps that are almost burning out. Have I not said that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed? I am watching every act of generosity, and I will cause peace to flow back into the places where anxiety once ruled your mind. Your seed is not disappearing into emptiness. It is becoming bread for the hungry, water for the thirsty, and hope for hearts hanging by a thread. I am inviting you to stop seeing your giving as ordinary because heaven records every sacrifice made to advance my voice. So now through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and let your obedience become part of someone else's restoration tonight. My child, you have spent so much time trying to predict every possible outcome that you barely allow yourself to experience peace in the present moment anymore. Your mind constantly searches for certainty because uncertainty feels dangerous to you now. After disappointments, heartbreaks, and unexpected pain, you learned how quickly life can change. So you started trying to control every detail ahead of time, hoping it might protect your heart from being hurt again. I understand why you became this way. You wanted safety. You wanted reassurance that things would finally work out without falling apart unexpectedly. But listen carefully to me now. Your need for certainty has quietly become a heavy burden inside your spirit. You analyze situations endlessly. You search for signs that something might go wrong before it even happens. Some nights your thoughts move so fast that your own mind becomes exhausting to carry. Come closer and release the pressure to understand everything before taking another step forward. You do not need complete clarity before healing begins. You do not need guarantees before allowing yourself to hope again. I know uncertainty makes you uncomfortable because it reminds you of seasons where life felt unstable and painful. Yet constantly demanding certainty from the future will only steal peace from the present. You have delayed joy because fear convinced you to stay emotionally guarded until everything felt safe enough. You held back trust. You held back vulnerability. You even held back your own dreams at times because uncertainty frightened you more than staying stuck. But I did not create your heart to live trapped inside endless hesitation. Sit with me honestly tonight and pay attention to how exhausted your spirit has become from trying to control outcomes that were never fully yours to manage. Breathe deeply and loosen your grip little by little. Let your thoughts slow down. Stop interrogating every possibility until your peace disappears completely. You are carrying responsibilities that belong in my hands, not yours. Trust does not mean you suddenly stop feeling fear. Trust means you stop allowing fear to control every decision inside your life. I am asking you to move forward without demanding every answer beforehand. Open your heart again even if certainty has not fully arrived yet. Healing, growth, and peace often begin quietly while you are still waiting for clarity. You do not need to solve your entire future tonight. You only need to stop fighting so hard to control what tomorrow might hold. Let me guide you one step at a time instead of forcing yourself to see the entire road ahead before you are willing to move. My child, there are questions inside your heart that you rarely speak aloud because you are not even sure how to put them into words. Some of them rise quietly during sleepless nights. Others appear in moments when your thoughts suddenly become heavier than usual. You wonder why life became so exhausting. You wonder why certain wounds stayed open longer than expected. Sometimes you look at yourself and quietly ask whether you are falling behind while everyone else seems to move forward with confidence and clarity. I have heard every one of those hidden questions, even the ones you never finished forming in your mind. You became skilled at hiding uncertainty because you feared appearing weak or unstable. You learned how to answer people with "I'm fine" even while confusion quietly filled your heart. But come closer now and stop pretending your questions make you a failure. Honest questions do not frighten me. Your struggles to understand life have never pushed me away from you. I know how difficult it has been carrying emotions you cannot easily explain. There were moments when disappointment changed the way you viewed yourself. You began wondering whether something inside you was broken because certain prayers remained unanswered for so long. You watched doors close. You watched plans collapse. You experienced seasons where nothing seemed to move no matter how hard you tried. Slowly, doubt started whispering against your spirit. It told you that maybe you were forgotten, maybe you were too damaged, maybe your future would always feel uncertain. Listen carefully to me now. Stop believing every fearful thought that enters your mind during lonely moments. Your emotions are real, but they are not always telling you the truth. Pain has a way of distorting perspective when it stays untreated for too long. That is why I am asking you to bring those hidden questions to me instead of burying them deeper inside yourself. Sit quietly with me tonight and speak honestly about what confuses you. Tell me where your faith became tired. Tell me where your hope weakened. Tell me what scares you about the future. I am not waiting for polished words from you. I simply want your honesty. Healing often begins the moment you stop hiding your inner struggles behind forced strength. You do not need to solve every unanswered question before peace can begin returning to your heart. Some answers will come slowly with time, growth, and healing. But right now, I want you to stop carrying silent confusion by yourself. Let me guide your thoughts gently instead of allowing fear to shape your understanding of your own life. You are not lost, my child. You are simply tired from carrying questions that were never meant to crush your spirit. My child, pain changed the way you see yourself more than you realize. Certain disappointments left marks on your confidence that you still carry quietly today. Rejection made you question your value. Mistakes made you question your goodness. Broken relationships made you wonder whether something inside you was too difficult to love completely. Over time, you started measuring your worth through the eyes of people who could not fully see your heart. I watched you become smaller inside yourself after experiences that wounded your spirit. You stopped expecting kindness in certain areas of your life because you feared disappointment too deeply. You became careful about showing your true emotions because being vulnerable once left you feeling exposed and hurt. Slowly, your confidence faded beneath layers of fear, regret, and self-protection. But listen carefully to me now. Nothing that happened to you erased your value. Come closer and stop defining yourself by the moments that hurt you most. You are not only the mistakes you regret. You are not only the heartbreak you survived. You are not only the seasons where your faith felt weak or your emotions felt unstable. Your worth was established long before pain entered your story, and pain does not have the authority to rewrite what I already declared about you. I know there are still moments when insecurity rises quickly inside your thoughts. You compare yourself to others and quietly feel less than them. You replay old failures and wonder whether people would still love you if they fully understood your struggles. But I want you to stop speaking over your life with so much harshness. Stop treating yourself like someone who must constantly earn love before becoming worthy of receiving it. Sit with me honestly and allow your heart to hear truth again. You are deeply valuable even in seasons where you feel emotionally fragile. You are still worthy of tenderness, peace, healing, and genuine love. Do not push away care simply because past wounds taught you to expect rejection. I never asked you to become perfect before allowing yourself to believe you matter. Lift your eyes away from everything that damaged your confidence and look at how much strength still exists inside you despite everything you survive. Your heart kept beating through heartbreak. Your spirit kept moving through exhaustion. Even now, there is goodness inside you that pain could not destroy. Stop hiding from your own worth, my child. Open your heart again and let truth settle deeper than the lies your wounds have been whispering to you for far too long. My child, you cannot heal while constantly hiding from your own emotions. I know how hard you have worked to appear composed on the outside. You learned how to smile when your heart felt heavy. You learned how to answer questions without revealing what was really happening inside you. After enough disappointments, you became skilled at protecting yourself through silence. But keeping your pain buried has slowly exhausted your spirit more than you realize. There are wounds inside you that have never fully healed because you rarely allow yourself to face them honestly. You distract yourself when emotions rise too close to the surface. You stay busy because stillness makes certain memories louder. Some nights your mind drifts toward things you thought you had already moved past, yet the emotions return with surprising weight. That happens because buried pain does not disappear simply because you avoid looking at it. It waits quietly beneath the surface, shaping your thoughts, reactions, and fears in ways you may not even notice. Come closer now and stop pretending your heart is untouched by what happened to you. Sit with me honestly for a moment. Let your guard fall. Stop rehearsing strong answers while your spirit quietly aches underneath them. I am not asking you to relive every painful memory endlessly, but I am asking you to stop running from the truth inside yourself. You became afraid that honesty would make you fall apart emotionally. You worried that if you truly acknowledged your hurt, anger, disappointment, or loneliness, it might overwhelm you completely. But healing cannot begin in places where truth is never allowed to enter. You do not need polished emotions before bringing them to me. Bring me the confusion. Bring me the resentment you feel ashamed of. Bring me the exhaustion you keep hiding behind forced strength. I already know every hidden part of your heart, my child, and I have not rejected you. Stop believing you must clean up your emotions before you deserve comfort. Some of your deepest healing will begin the moment you stop editing your pain to make it appear smaller than it really is. Take a deep breath tonight and allow yourself to acknowledge where you are struggling emotionally. Speak honestly instead of spiritually performing. Cry if you need to cry. Sit quietly if words feel difficult. But stop abandoning yourself emotionally while trying to survive. I want your real heart, not the version of yourself you think sounds stronger or more acceptable. Healing may feel uncomfortable at first because honesty often opens doors you tried hard to keep closed. Yet those closed places inside you are exactly where I want to bring peace, restoration, and tenderness back into your life. Let me reach those hidden wounds instead of carrying them silently for another season. My child, honesty opens doors that silence could never heal, and I am calling my people into truth-filled restoration through this message. There are hidden wounds buried inside countless hearts, and I am using these words like healing balm to reach places people thought nobody could see. When you choose to support this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, you are helping truth break chains that darkness tried to keep hidden for years. I tell you now, what is sown in obedience will rise like a harvest prepared by my own hand. Your generosity becomes rain falling on dry ground, awakening hope inside souls that almost gave up on healing completely. Do not underestimate the power of one faithful act when my spirit is breathing upon it. I am asking you personally to help carry this message farther because many are waiting for permission to finally stop hiding their pain. Move now, my child. Give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and help release healing into lives that desperately need my presence. My child, part of your heart has remained stuck in old chapters because you quietly convinced yourself that you no longer deserve a fresh beginning. You keep looking backward at mistakes, broken seasons, and painful memories as though they still hold authority over your future. Somewhere deep inside, you started believing that your life could never fully move forward because too much damage had already been done. But I want you to listen carefully to me now. Your story did not end in the moments that wounded you most. I know there are parts of your past that still feel heavy when you think about them. Certain regrets continue following your thoughts into quiet moments. You wonder whether you missed opportunities that will never return. You question whether joy, peace, or fulfillment are still truly possible for someone carrying your history. Yet while you have been standing emotionally at the edge of old pain, I have been patiently inviting you toward something new. Come closer and stop asking your past for permission to heal. Stop waiting for every memory to stop hurting before allowing yourself to hope again. Healing does not happen because the past suddenly disappears. Healing happens when your heart finally realizes it no longer has to live trapped there. You have spent too much time staring at closed chapters while life quietly waits in front of you. There are dreams inside you that fear almost bearing completely. There are parts of your personality that became smaller after disappointment entered your life. You became cautious with joy because you worried it would eventually be taken away again. You became careful about trusting happiness because heartbreak once arrived when you least expected it. But my child, protecting yourself from pain has also been preventing your heart from fully living. Lift your eyes now and look beyond the ruins you keep revisiting. I am not asking you to deny what happened. I am asking you to stop building your identity around it. You are more than your worst season. You are more than the chapter where everything fell apart. There is still life ahead of you that has not yet unfolded. Take a breath and allow yourself to imagine something different for your future. Let hope enter carefully if it needs to. Open your heart little by little instead of shutting every door before healing has the chance to arrive. I am inviting you forward, not backward. Stop punishing yourself by staying emotionally trapped in places I already called you out of long ago. You do not need perfect confidence before taking the next step. You only need the willingness to believe that your life can still grow into something beautiful again. My child, I know how difficult it has become for you to look ahead without immediately expecting disappointment. Too many painful experiences taught your heart to prepare for loss before joy even has the chance to arrive. You became cautious with hope because hope once felt dangerous to you. There were times when you trusted something completely and watched it fall apart in your hands anyway. After enough heartbreak, your mind quietly learned to expect the worst first, believing that if you'd anticipated pain early enough, it might hurt less when it arrived. But listen carefully to me now. Your future is not standing against you like an enemy waiting to destroy your peace. You have spent too much time looking ahead through the lens of old wounds. Every disappointment from your past has tried to convince you that tomorrow will only repeat yesterday's pain. That fear has shaped your thinking more deeply than you realize. It has made you hesitant to trust new beginnings. It has made you suspicious of happiness. It has even made you question whether good things can truly remain in your life without disappearing. Come closer and release the belief that suffering is the only thing waiting ahead of you. I know your heart still carries scars from seasons that nearly broke you emotionally. I know some losses changed the way you see life itself. Yet those painful chapters are not prophecies over your future. They are experiences you survived, not permanent definitions of what your life must always become. Stop expecting every open door to close suddenly. Stop assuming every beautiful moment will eventually collapse. Your spirit has been living in defensive survival mode for so long that peace now feels unfamiliar. But I want you to begin loosening your grip on fear little by little. Take a breath and allow hope to enter your heart again without immediately pushing it away. There are still good things ahead of you, my child. There are still moments of peace your heart has not experienced yet. There are still relationships capable of bringing warmth instead of pain. There are still mornings where your thoughts will feel lighter than they do right now. Do not let your wounds convince you that darkness is the only future available to you. Sit with me honestly tonight and let me quiet the fear that constantly whispers against your hope. You do not need to predict disaster before every new season begins. Trust me enough to believe that healing can continue unfolding even while uncertainty still exists. Your future is not empty. Your life is not ruined. Open your heart again and stop treating tomorrow as though it already carries the same pain you barely survived before. I am already walking ahead of you, preparing peace in places where your mind currently expects fear. My child, one of the deepest burdens inside your heart is the belief that you must somehow become more worthy before fully receiving love, peace, or closeness with me. You carry hidden pressure inside yourself every day, constantly feeling like you should be doing better, believing more strongly, healing faster, or becoming more perfect before you can finally rest. Somewhere along the way, you started treating love like something that must be earned through effort instead of something meant to be received with honesty and trust. I know why your heart became this way. Life taught you that approval often depended on performance. You learned to associate worth with success, acceptance with achievement, and affection with meeting expectations. When people disappointed you or withdrew from you, part of your spirit quietly concluded that you were simply not enough. So you started trying harder. You became harder on yourself than anyone else around you. Even now, you criticize yourself constantly while believing you still need to improve before you deserve gentleness. Come closer and listen carefully to me. You do not need to earn my love through exhaustion, perfection, or endless self-punishment. I already know every flaw, every fear, every hidden struggle, and still I have not turned away from you. Stop approaching me as though you must prove your value before being welcomed into my presence. I never asked you to become flawless before allowing yourself to feel loved deeply. There are moments when you avoid opening your heart fully because shame still lingers inside you. You think about mistakes, weaknesses, and emotional struggles that make you feel spiritually unworthy. But my child, if love only existed for perfect people, nobody would ever truly receive it. I want you to stop measuring your worth through impossible standards that leave your spirit exhausted and discouraged. Sit with me honestly tonight and put down the pressure to perform. Stop trying to earn what I already desire to give you freely. You do not need carefully rehearsed words. You do not need spiritual perfection before approaching me honestly. Bring me your tired heart exactly as it is right now. Bring me your confusion, your inconsistency, your fears, and your emotional scars. I want relationship with the real you, not the polished version you think sounds more acceptable. Let yourself receive care without immediately feeling guilty for needing it. Open your heart and allow my love to reach the places inside you that still feel unworthy of tenderness. You have spent too much of your life fighting for acceptance when you were already deeply loved long before you ever learned how to hide your wounds. My child, there were moments when you became so emotionally exhausted that you quietly wondered how much longer you could keep carrying everything inside you. You reached points where your heart felt numb from disappointment, and your mind felt crowded with thoughts you could barely organize anymore. Some days you moved through life on autopilot, doing what needed to be done while secretly feeling disconnected from yourself. Yet despite everything that tried to pull you into hopelessness, you are still here. I need you to stop and truly recognize that for a moment, you survived seasons that once looked impossible to survive. There were nights when you cried in silence because you no longer had energy left to explain your pain to anyone else. There were mornings when getting out of bed felt heavier than anyone around you realized. You carried grief, pressure, fear, heartbreak, confusion, and emotional exhaustion all at once. Still, something inside you refused to completely surrender. That strength did not come from nowhere, my child. I was holding on to you even during the moments when you felt too weak to hold on to yourself. Come closer now and stop speaking about your life as though it no longer carries purpose. Pain has clouded your vision for too long. You became so focused on surviving difficult seasons that you forgot there is still meaning attached to your existence, beyond your suffering. I did not preserve your life through every storm just for you to believe your future has nothing left to offer. There are still parts of your story waiting to unfold. There are still moments of peace your heart has not experienced yet. There are still people you will comfort one day because you understand pain in ways many others never will. Your scars are not proof that your life failed. Sometimes they are evidence that your spirit endured battles meant to destroy it completely. Sit quietly with me tonight and stop treating yourself like someone already defeated. Lift your eyes away from the darkness that has surrounded your thoughts for too long. Breathe deeply and remember how many times you already survived situations that once convinced you life would never feel light again. You are stronger than your fear tells you. You are more deeply loved than your loneliness suggests. I want you to stop shrinking your future down to the size of your current exhaustion. Let hope enter your heart again little by little. Open your mind to the possibility that healing is still unfolding even now. You are not alive by accident. Your presence here still matters. Your voice still matters. Your heart still matters. Do not walk away from yourself emotionally while I am still carefully guiding your life toward healing, growth, and peace you cannot fully see yet. My child, the fact that you are still here is proof that I am not finished writing your story, and neither am I finished reaching others through this message. There are people standing at the edge of hopelessness tonight who need this very word to remind them that their lives still carry purpose. When you sow through Super Thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description, you help send my light into places where despair has tried to silence hope. I am the God who multiplies loaves and fishes, and I still multiply every seed surrendered into my hands with faith. Your giving is becoming part of someone's rescue, someone's breakthrough, someone's reason to keep believing one more day. I see the hearts that respond quickly when I call, and I will release favor, protection, provision, and unexpected peace over those who help advance my word. This is not coincidence, my child. This moment is a divine invitation to participate in the healing of souls across the earth. Do not ignore the stirring in your spirit. Act now through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and help carry my voice to those still waiting to hear it. My child, your mind hath been carrying too much noise for too long. Even during moments when your surroundings become quiet, your thoughts keep moving restlessly inside you. Worries pull at your attention. Old memories return unexpectedly. Fear keeps asking questions your heart feels too tired to answer. You became so accustomed to inner tension that peace now feels almost unfamiliar, like something distant that belongs to other people more than it belongs to you. I see how exhausting this has become for you. You try to relax, yet your mind continues preparing for problems that may never happen. You replay painful moments repeatedly, hoping to understand them differently. Some nights you close your eyes physically while your spirit remains wide awake emotionally. Your heart has been carrying invisible pressure day after day, and very few people realize how heavy it truly feels for you inside. Come closer now and stop trying to fight every internal battle through your own strength alone. Sit with me for a moment without rushing to solve everything immediately. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts settle little by little instead of allowing fear to control the atmosphere inside your heart. You were never created to live constantly overwhelmed by anxiety, emotional tension, and endless overthinking. I know there are reasons peace became difficult for you to trust. Life surprised you with pain when you least expected it. Certain wounds taught your nervous system to stay alert all the time. Your spirit learned how to anticipate disappointment before joy even had the chance to arrive. But my child, constantly expecting danger has drained your heart more deeply than you realize. Release your grip on everything you cannot control tonight. Stop carrying tomorrow before tomorrow even arrives. You do not need to predict every possible outcome to protect yourself from pain. Let your shoulders relax. Let your breathing slow down. Allow my presence to enter the places inside you where fear has been shouting the loudest. Peace does not mean your life suddenly becomes perfect overnight. Peace begins when your spirit finally stops believing it must survive every moment alone. I want to restore calm inside the parts of you that feel emotionally overworked and spiritually exhausted. Stop feeding your mind endless fear while starving your heart of comfort. Open your heart honestly and let me quiet the storm within you. Turn away from the noise that constantly drains your spirit. Sit with me in stillness instead of running from silence. Your soul has been craving rest for longer than you admit to yourself. Let me restore the peace you thought you permanently lost. My child, comparison has quietly stolen more peace from your heart than you realize. You look at other people and assume they are moving through life with clarity, confidence, and ease, while you continue struggling through uncertainty and emotional exhaustion. You watch someone else succeed and immediately begin questioning your own progress. You see another person smiling and wonder why joy feels harder for you to hold on to lately. Little by little, comparison has trained your mind to overlook how far you have actually come. I know why this happens inside you. Your heart had been searching for reassurance for a long time. You want evidence that your life still matters, that your waiting has purpose, that your struggles are not meaningless. But instead of looking honestly at your own growth, you keep measuring your worth against lives you do not fully understand. You compare your hidden battles to someone else's public appearance. You compare your hardest seasons to another person's highlight moments. That comparison is unfair to your spirit, my child, and it has exhausted you deeply. Come closer now and stop standing in judgment over your own journey. Stop speaking to yourself as though you are failing simply because your path looks different from someone else's. You do not see the private pain other people carry behind closed doors. You do not see the fears they fight, the tears they hide, or the burdens they quietly endure. Every life carries struggles invisible to outsiders. I want you to pay attention to your own healing instead of constantly searching for confirmation through comparison. Look honestly at the strength you gained through surviving things that once almost destroyed your peace completely. You are not the same person you were before those painful seasons shaped you. Growth has already been happening quietly inside you, even during moments where you felt stuck emotionally. Release the pressure to arrive at someone else's timeline. Your healing is unfolding differently because your story is different. Stop rushing your heart simply because others appear ahead of you. Some flowers bloom early while others bloom later, yet both still become beautiful in their proper season. Do not insult your own journey by constantly wishing it looked like another person's life. Sit quietly with me tonight and let gratitude slowly return to your heart. Notice how much endurance you already carry inside you. Notice how many storms you already survived. Let your spirit breathe without constantly competing for worthiness. You do not need to become someone else before your life becomes meaningful. I created your story intentionally, my child. Trust the pace of your healing instead of measuring your value through comparisons that only leave your heart feeling smaller and more discouraged. My child, you have been running emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for so long that slowing down now almost feels uncomfortable to you. Your mind became addicted to constant movement because stillness forces you to notice how tired your heart truly feels. You fill your days with responsibilities, distractions, and endless thinking because silence often brings buried emotions closer to the surface. Yet your soul has been quietly begging for rest while you continue pushing yourself beyond healthy limits. I know there are reasons you became this way. You learned to survive by staying productive. You convinced yourself that if you kept moving, maybe the pain would not catch up to you. Sometimes staying busy felt safer than sitting alone with your thoughts. But constantly exhausting yourself has not healed your heart. It has only delayed the care your spirit desperately needs. Come closer now and stop treating rest like weakness. Stop apologizing for needing space to breathe emotionally. You were never created to carry non-stop pressure without eventually feeling the weight of it inside your spirit. Even now, your body may continue functioning while your heart quietly feels depleted beneath the surface. I see the emotional exhaustion you try to ignore every day. You have placed impossible expectations upon yourself for too long. You feel guilty when you slow down. You feel anxious when you are not accomplishing something. Even moments meant for peace become crowded with thoughts about what still needs fixing, solving, or controlling. But listen carefully to me now. Your value does not disappear when you rest. Your worth is not tied to constant productivity. Take a breath tonight and allow yourself to pause without guilt. Put down the pressure to hold everything together perfectly. Turn away from the endless noise draining your spirit. Sit quietly with me instead of constantly rushing ahead emotionally. Your heart needs room to recover from everything it has carried. I want you to stop living as though your soul must constantly earn permission to rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is restoration. There are parts of your spirit that cannot heal while you remain trapped inside non-stop emotional survival mode. Slow down enough to hear your own heart again. Slow down enough to notice where you are hurting instead of covering every wound with distraction. You do not need to fix your entire life tonight. You only need to stop running from yourself long enough to let peace begin entering your heart again. My child, I know there are moments when you look at yourself and wonder whether too much has happened for your heart to ever feel whole again. Pain changed parts of you. Disappointment made you more guarded. Certain experiences taught you to hide your tenderness, because being open once left you feeling wounded and exposed. Over time, you became careful with your emotions. You stopped expressing certain hopes out loud because you feared watching them break apart again. Yet even after everything you have endured, your heart still matters deeply to me. I see the goodness inside you that suffering could not destroy. I see the compassion you still carry even after being hurt by people you trusted. I see how your spirit still longs for peace despite all the exhaustion weighing upon you. You may focus mostly on your scars now, but I see the strength that survived beneath them. I see the kindness you continue offering others even while your own heart quietly feels tired. Do not overlook the beauty that still remains within you simply because life became difficult. Come closer and stop treating your heart like something damaged beyond repair. Stop speaking about yourself as though pain erased everything valuable inside you. Your wounds may have changed you, but they did not make you worthless. Some of the deepest compassion within you was born through seasons that almost broke your spirit completely. Your sensitivity is not weakness, my child. Your ability to still care after disappointment is evidence that your heart remains alive beneath all the heaviness you carry. I know you became cautious because you are afraid of being hurt again. You learned how to protect yourself emotionally by lowering expectations and hiding vulnerability behind strength. But constantly guarding your heart has also prevented tenderness from reaching the places inside you that still need healing. Sit quietly with me now and let your defenses soften little by little. You do not need to perform toughness every second just to survive. There are still beautiful things waiting to grow inside your life. There are still moments ahead where your heart will feel warmth instead of fear. Do not abandon your own tenderness simply because pain once entered your story. Open your spirit again carefully. Allow yourself to believe that healing is still possible for you. I want you to stop seeing yourself only through the lens of exhaustion and disappointment. Lift your eyes and notice how much love, resilience, and endurance still remain inside you. Your heart matters to me, even in seasons where you struggle to value it yourself. Bring me your guarded places. Bring me your hidden fears. Let me remind you gently that your soul was never created merely to survive pain. It was created to experience peace, connection, healing, and love again. My child, as I restore hearts that believe they were too broken to be loved again, I am also raising vessels who will help carry this healing to souls still trapped in darkness. Every word you help send forward becomes oil poured into weary spirits and light shining into places where hope nearly died. Did I not say, a bruised reed I will not break, and a smoldering wick I will not snuff out? Even now, I am breathing life back into hearts through this message, and your giving becomes part of that holy work. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not losing anything. You are planting seeds into a harvest of restored lives. I see every act of generosity done in secret, and I will multiply what is placed into my hands with favor, provision, and protection over your life. This is not coincidence. This moment has been trying to reach you because I am calling you to help spread my voice farther than you can currently see. Do not ignore this invitation. Give now, support this mission boldly, and let your offering become part of the healing I am releasing across the earth. My child, you have been carrying responsibilities inside your mind that were never meant to rest entirely upon your shoulders. You keep trying to manage every possible outcome because uncertainty makes you anxious. You replay conversations repeatedly, searching for ways to prevent future pain. You try to predict what people are thinking, how situations will unfold, and whether things might suddenly collapse again. Slowly, your need for control has become exhausting for your spirit. I understand why you hold on so tightly. Life surprised you with disappointment before. Certain experiences taught you that things can change suddenly without warning. Since then, your heart hath been trying to protect itself by preparing for every possible problem ahead of time. But listen carefully to me now. Constantly gripping everything with fear-filled hands has not given you peace. It has only made your soul tired. Come closer and breathe for a moment. Stop caring tomorrow before tomorrow even arrives. You are exhausting yourself trying to control outcomes that were never fully yours to control in the first place. Some things are beyond your ability to fix no matter how deeply you worry about them. Some people will make choices you cannot change. Some situations will unfold differently than you hoped. But your constant fear will not protect you from every hardship life may bring. I want you to release the pressure to hold everything together perfectly. Put down the emotional weight you keep carrying secretly inside yourself. You do not need to monitor every possibility constantly just to feel safe. Sit quietly with me and let your mind slow down. Let your breathing deepen. Allow your heart to rest from the endless tension of trying to control every unknown detail ahead of you. There are burdens you were never created to carry alone, my child. You have taken responsibility for emotions, outcomes, and situations that belong in my hands instead of yours. That pressure has slowly drained your peace and left your thoughts constantly restless. I do not want you living this way anymore. Release what you cannot change tonight. Stop gripping broken situations so tightly that your own spirit begins breaking underneath the pressure. Trust me enough to loosen your hold on fear little by little. You do not need complete control before peace can enter your life. Real peace often begins when you finally accept that not everything depends upon your ability to manage it perfectly. Open your hands emotionally and let me carry what has been exhausting your heart. You are allowed to rest from the pressure of trying to control the entire future alone. My child, this moment is not about religion, performance, or trying harder to appear spiritually strong. This is about your heart. This is about the distance you quietly feel inside yourself even while continuing through your daily routines. You have spent so much time surviving emotionally that you forgot closeness with me was never meant to feel cold, forced, or unreachable. Somewhere along the way, your relationship with me became buried beneath exhaustion, fear, disappointment, and distractions that slowly pulled your attention away from what your soul truly needed. I know there were seasons when you stopped opening your heart fully because life left you emotionally tired. You still believed in me, but your spirit became quieter. You prayed less honestly. You guarded your thoughts more carefully. You told yourself you would reconnect with me later, after life became less overwhelming, after your emotions settled down, after you felt spiritually stronger again. Yet the longer you waited, the more distant your heart began to feel inside. Come closer now and stop postponing the connection your soul desperately misses. I am not standing far away from you waiting for perfection before welcoming you near me again. I have been beside you the entire time, even during the seasons where your attention drifted elsewhere. You do not need polished words tonight. You do not need impressive faith or emotional certainty before approaching me honestly. I simply want the real you. Sit quietly with me for a moment and let the noise around your life fade into the background. Turn away from the endless distractions competing for your attention every day. Put down your phone for a while. Stop drowning your thoughts in constant noise. Let your spirit breathe deeply enough to remember what closeness with me feels like again. I want you to stop seeing me as distant from your daily struggles. Bring me your fears openly. Bring me your confusion, your exhaustion, your doubts, and your loneliness. Let me into the parts of your life you usually keep hidden behind strength. I already know every hidden battle inside you, my child, and still I desire closeness with you. Do not keep living emotionally disconnected while your heart quietly aches for deeper peace. Open the locked places inside your spirit little by little. Allow yourself to feel my presence again instead of constantly numbing your emotions through distraction and survival mode. I am calling you closer because your soul was never created to live separated from the comfort, guidance, and peace I want to give you. Stop running from stillness. Stop delaying your healing. Come near to me honestly, and let your weary heart rest again. My child, I know there are moments when you fear too much damage has already been done inside your heart. Certain wounds stayed open longer than you expected. Certain disappointments changed the way you see yourself and the world around you. Sometimes you wonder whether healing is still truly possible for someone carrying your history, your exhaustion, and your emotional scars. You look at how long you have struggled and quietly begin losing hope that peace will ever fully return again. But listen carefully to me now. You are not too late for healing. Your heart is not beyond restoration simply because pain stayed longer than you hoped it would. I know there are parts of you that feel worn down from fighting emotional battles for so long. I know you became tired of carrying invisible pain while still trying to function normally every day. Yet your exhaustion does not mean your story is finished. Come closer and stop speaking over your future with hopelessness. Stop deciding your healing cannot happen simply because the process has taken longer than expected. Some wounds heal slowly because they reach deep places inside your spirit. That does not mean healing is impossible. It means your heart has been carrying more than most people ever realized. I want you to stop measuring your progress only through emotions. There are ways you have already grown that you fail to notice because pain still occasionally returns. You are stronger now than you once were. You understand compassion more deeply. You survive moments that once convinced you life would completely break you emotionally. Even your endurance through difficult seasons reveals healing quietly unfolding beneath the surface. Sit with me honestly tonight and release the fear that you are permanently damaged. You are not ruined, my child. Your future has not been destroyed by your hardest seasons. Let hope breathe again instead of suffocating it every time disappointment resurfaces. Healing is not always loud or immediate. Sometimes it happens quietly while your heart slowly learns how to trust peace again. Open your spirit to restoration instead of constantly preparing yourself for more pain. Stop treating your wounds like permanent identities you must carry forever. Bring me the areas inside you that still ache deeply. Let me comfort the places you usually hide from others. You do not need to heal perfectly overnight. You only need to stop believing that your pain has the final word over your life. There is still time for your heart to feel light again. There is still time for peace to grow where fear once ruled your thoughts. There is still time for joy to return gradually to places inside you that became emotionally numb. Do not give up on your healing while I am still gently restoring your spirit day by day. My child, one of the quietest lies your heart has believed is that you must handle everything alone in order to survive. Life taught you to become independent very early. Certain disappointments convinced you that relying on others could lead to pain, rejection, or misunderstanding. So you slowly built emotional walls around yourself. You stopped asking for help as often. You kept your deeper struggles hidden beneath calm answers and quiet endurance. Over time, carrying everything alone became normal to you, even though your spirit was never created to live that way. I have watched you sit with burdens too heavy for one heart to carry by itself. I saw the nights when your thoughts became overwhelming but you still told yourself to stay strong. I saw the moments when your chest felt tight with anxiety while you continued pretending everything was manageable. You became so accustomed to emotional isolation that even comfort sometimes feels unfamiliar to you now. But listen carefully to me, my child. Surviving alone is not the same as healing. Come closer and stop locking your pain inside silence. Stop carrying every fear, every disappointment, and every unanswered question as though it all depends entirely upon you. You do not need to hold your life together with exhausted hands anymore. Sit with me honestly and allow yourself to admit where you feel overwhelmed. Speak openly about the pressure you have been hiding beneath your routines and responsibilities. I know there are reasons you became guarded. Some people failed to show up for you when you needed support most. Some moments taught you that vulnerability could feel dangerous. Yet isolation has slowly drained your spirit while convincing you it was protecting you. Your heart has been craving connection, comfort, and understanding for far longer than you realize. Let me into the places inside you that still feel lonely and overburdened. Stop trying to solve every emotional struggle privately before allowing yourself to seek peace. I never intended for your soul to survive entirely through self-protection and emotional distance. There are burdens you were meant to release, not carry forever. Take a deep breath tonight and loosen your grip on the pressure you keep forcing yourself to manage alone. Rest your thoughts for a moment. Let your heart become still enough to receive comfort instead of constantly preparing for another emotional battle. You are not weak because you need support. You are human, and your spirit needs care just as much as your body does. Open your heart again little by little. Let my presence enter the exhausted places inside you that still ache quietly beneath the surface. You were never abandoned to carry this life alone, my child. I have been beside you through every burden, waiting patiently for the moment you finally stop fighting silently and allow yourself to be held. My child, you were never meant to carry life alone, and neither were these wounded souls meant to search for comfort without my voice reaching them. I am gathering the tired, the anxious, and the forgotten through messages like this, and I am calling willing hearts to help keep this river of healing flowing. Every super thanks, every membership, and every gift through the PayPal link in the description becomes bread for the hungry spirit and fire for those whose faith has nearly gone cold. Have I not declared, give and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over? I am speaking that promise over every person who responds in obedience today. Your generosity is not small in my sight. It becomes a doorway through which peace, truth, and restoration continue reaching people silently crying out to me at night. Do not delay this prompting within your spirit, because this is more than support. This is partnership and a divine assignment. Act now, sow into this mission immediately, and watch how I breathe increase, covering, and unexpected favor back into your own life. My child, I know pain has shaped the way you see yourself and the way you look at the future. Certain wounds stayed with you longer than expected. Certain disappointments left deep marks upon your confidence and trust. There are moments when your mind quietly assumes that because something hurt you before, it will eventually happen again. Without realizing it, you started building your expectations around past pain instead of future healing. You became cautious with joy because loss once arrived when you least expected it. You became hesitant to trust peace because difficult seasons taught your heart how quickly life can change. I understand why fear settled into your thinking this way. But listen carefully to me now. Your pain may be part of your story, yet it does not have the authority to decide the rest of your life. Come closer and stop speaking about your future as though heartbreak is the only thing waiting ahead of you. Stop assuming your wounds are permanent evidence that your life can never become lighter again. You survived painful seasons, my child, but survival is not meant to become your permanent identity. There is more ahead of you than endless emotional exhaustion. I know there are memories that still ache when they return unexpectedly. Some scars remain tender because they reach deep places inside your spirit. But healing does not mean pretending those moments never happened. Healing means your pain no longer controls the direction of your future. You do not need to keep reliving old wounds every time your heart begins hoping for something beautiful again. Sit quietly with me tonight and release the belief that suffering has permanently ruined your life. Look honestly at how much strength already exists inside you now because of everything you endured. Pain tried to break your spirit completely, yet you are still here. Your heart still longs for peace. Your soul still longs for love, connection, and purpose. That longing itself is evidence that hope is still alive within you. I want you to stop introducing yourself to the future through the language of fear. Open your heart carefully instead of shutting every door before healing has the chance to enter. Let yourself believe that joy can exist without immediately preparing for its loss. Let yourself experience moments of peace without distrusting them automatically. Your wounds may have changed you, but they do not own you. Your future is still unfolding, and I am not leading you toward endless darkness. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on the pain that keeps trying to define your identity. There is still beauty waiting ahead of you, my child, even if your heart struggles to fully imagine it right now. My child, there are moments in life when your heart quietly realizes something must change before your spirit becomes even more exhausted. You have been feeling that lately, even if you struggle to fully explain it. Beneath your routines, distractions, responsibilities, and conversations, there has been a deeper awareness rising inside you. You cannot keep carrying the same emotional weight while pretending everything feels manageable. Your soul has been trying to get your attention because the pace, pressure, and heaviness inside you have slowly drained your peace. I need you to stop for a moment and truly listen instead of immediately distracting yourself again. Put down the noise that constantly surrounds your thoughts. Step away from the endless pressure to keep functioning while ignoring what your heart has been feeling. There are emotions inside you that need honesty, not avoidance. There are wounds inside you that need care, not more silence. I have been speaking gently to your spirit for a long time now, but too often your mind becomes crowded before you fully hear me. Come closer and pay attention to the ache you keep trying to outrun. That restlessness inside you is not random. Your exhaustion is not meaningless. Your spirit knows when something deeper is missing, even when your outward life appears normal to everyone else. You became so focused on surviving daily pressures that you stopped noticing how emotionally disconnected you were becoming from yourself, from peace, and from me. I know there are parts of your life you avoid thinking about because the emotions attached to them feel heavy. You push certain thoughts aside quickly because facing them honestly feels uncomfortable. But avoiding your inner struggles has not brought healing, my child. It has only prolonged the exhaustion living quietly beneath the surface. I do not want you surviving emotionally while your soul slowly grows numb. Sit quietly with me tonight and stop running from stillness. Let your thoughts settle long enough to hear what your heart hath been trying to say. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to admit where you feel lost, overwhelmed, disappointed, or spiritually distant. You do not need perfect words before bringing your real emotions to me. This moment matters more than you realize. Your heart has reached a place where continuing exactly as you have been is no longer sustainable. I am not speaking to you with anger. I am reaching for you because I love you deeply, and I refuse to let your spirit keep drowning beneath silent exhaustion. Listen carefully now and stop ignoring the invitations I have been placing in front of you. Healing begins when honesty finally becomes more important than distraction. My child, I know there are days when healing still feels far away to you. You look at your emotions, your struggles, your lingering fears, and quietly assume that nothing inside you is truly changing. Because pain still visits your thoughts sometimes, you convince yourself that growth is not happening. Because certain wounds still ache occasionally, you begin believing peace is still distant from your life. But I need you to listen carefully now. You are closer to healing than your fear allows you to see. So much has already changed within you, even in ways you failed to notice. There was a time when certain pain would have completely consumed your thoughts for days, yet now you recover more gently. There was a time when disappointment shattered your hope instantly, yet part of your heart still continues searching for peace despite everything you endured. Your spirit has grown stronger quietly through seasons you thought were only breaking you apart. Come closer and stop measuring your progress only through perfect emotions. Healing rarely arrives all at once. Often it unfolds slowly while your heart learns how to trust safety, peace, and hope again. Some of the deepest restoration inside you is happening beneath the surface where you cannot fully see it yet. Do not become discouraged simply because you are still human enough to struggle sometimes. I know you expected healing to feel dramatic or immediate. You thought one day everything inside you would suddenly become light again overnight. But many times healing begins softly. It begins the moment you stop hiding from your emotions. It begins when your heart finally grows tired of carrying pain alone. It begins when you start opening yourself honestly to peace instead of constantly preparing for more disappointment. Take a breath tonight and look honestly at how far you have already come. You survived seasons that once convinced you your life would never feel manageable again. You endured heartbreaks, emotional exhaustion, loneliness, fear, and uncertainty, yet your spirit is still reaching toward healing instead of completely surrendering to darkness. That matters more than you realize. Stop speaking over yourself with hopelessness every time difficult emotions return briefly. Your healing is not erased because you still have hard days sometimes. Growth is still unfolding inside you even while certain wounds continue recovering slowly. Trust the quiet work happening within your spirit. I want you to stop standing so far away from hope emotionally. Open your heart again little by little. Let peace approach you instead of assuming it will eventually disappear. You are not as far from restoration as your fear keeps telling you, my child. I have been guiding your healing gently through every difficult season, and I am still walking beside you now. My child, long before you arrived at this moment, your heart had already been searching for it. You may have thought you were simply moving through another ordinary day, but something inside you kept pulling toward stillness, toward reflection, toward the quiet need for something deeper than survival. That feeling did not appear by accident. I have been reaching toward you through more moments than you realize, through exhaustion that made you stop and question your direction, through restless nights where your thoughts became too heavy to ignore, through sudden moments where your heart felt strangely emotional even when nothing around you seemed different. I have been calling gently to your spirit the entire time. You kept trying to move forward while carrying burdens that were quietly draining your soul. You kept telling yourself you would slow down later, heal later, reconnect later. Yet your heart continued feeling unsettled because deep inside, you knew something needed your attention now. Come closer and listen carefully to me. This moment is not random. Your soul was never meant to stay emotionally disconnected while your spirit slowly grew tired beneath the weight of fear, pressure, disappointment, and silent loneliness. I want you to stop running from what your heart has been trying to tell you. Stop silencing your deeper emotions with endless distractions. Put down the pressure to appear strong every moment of your life. Sit quietly with me now and let your spirit breathe honestly again. Let yourself feel the care, comfort, and peace you have been resisting for so long because vulnerability frightened you. I know there are parts of you still afraid to fully trust healing again. Pain taught you to stay guarded. Disappointment taught you to expect loss before joy. But despite all of that, your heart still kept searching. Even after every difficult season, there remained something inside you that refused to completely give up on hope. The longing inside you matters, my child. It is evidence that your spirit still recognizes my voice even through all the noise surrounding your life. Do not walk away from this moment unchanged. Let these words settle deeper than temporary emotion. Open your heart fully instead of only halfway. Bring me your exhaustion, your fear, your confusion, your regrets, and your hidden wounds. Stop carrying them alone while pretending you are unaffected by everything you endured. You are still deeply loved. You are still seen completely. You are still being guided even during seasons where clarity feels distant. I have not forgotten you for a single moment. Every quiet ache inside your spirit has been leading toward this invitation to come closer, rest honestly, and allow healing to continue unfolding within you. Stay near me now, my child. Do not return to emotional distance after coming this far. Your heart has been trying to reach this moment for longer than you know. My child, if these words found you at the exact moment your soul needed them, then understand this clearly. Others are still waiting for the same encounter with my presence. I have been reaching for broken hearts through this message, drawing weary spirits out of emotional darkness and back into my healing light. The stirring you feel right now is not temporary emotion. It is my invitation for you to help carry this word farther through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link waiting in the description. Every seed you release into this mission becomes living water flowing toward someone on the verge of giving up, someone praying for one sign that I still see them. Did I not promise that those who sow beside many waters will reap in due season? I am watching every act of obedience, and I will return blessing, protection, open doors, and fresh strength to those who honor my call with willing hearts. This moment was never random. It has been trying to reach you because heaven is inviting you into something eternal. Do not scroll away unchanged. Give now. Stand with this mission today, and help my voice reach the heart still searching for me. Before you leave, do not ignore what your spirit felt while hearing this message. If you know this was not an accident, then respond in faith and type, "I hear you, Father. I'm coming closer." Let that declaration be your first step out of silence, fear, and emotional distance. Do not scroll away and return to carrying everything alone again. Stay connected to this moment, because something inside your heart has already begun to awaken. And if this message reached you exactly when you needed it most, type "This was meant for me," and let your voice become part of the healing God is already starting inside you. Amen.